So picture this, you've booked your dream cruise, you're already imagining the sunsets, the island breezes, the endless buffets, but there's a problem. Without even realizing it, you could be paying way more than you should for your cruise. Cruise lines are masters at making us spend extra, and most of the time, we don't even notice it's happening until it's too late. And the cruise lines don't want you to know about any of this, of course, because it's how they make their money. So today, we're counting down 10 ways you're paying too much to cruise that you might not even realize. And more importantly, how you can stop it. Now, some of these are things that people do before they even step on board the ship, while there are traps waiting for you once you are on board. And by the end of this video, you'll know how to keep more of your money for the fun stuff, or maybe even another cruise. Hello everyone, my name is Zach. I am the Traveling Man. Grab your notepad because I guarantee at least one of these tips I'm about to cover will surprise you. And before we get started, I want to know, what's the most amount of money you've ever spent on a cruise? Let me know down in the comments and see how you compare to other viewers. And hey, if you're ready to save some serious cash, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and let's dive right on into this list. Now, number one is booking without watching for price drops. Now, cruise pricing works a lot like airfare, meaning it's consistently changing based on demand, promotions, and how many cabins are left. That means the price you pay on booking day just might not be the lowest price available before your cruise actually sets sail. Now, many people book early and never think about the price of their cruise again, but if you don't check prices regularly, you just might miss a big drop. And here's the thing, most cruise lines will adjust your fare or even offer you onboard credit if the price of your cruise does happen to go down before your final payment date. But they're not going to call you to let you know this, of course. You have to catch it and ask for that price drop. Now, this might involve emailing or calling your travel agent or even calling the cruise line if you book directly with them, but the savings are absolutely worth it. I actually have a cruise book for next February, and in the last month alone, I've saved over $1,000 off my initial booking by doing a daily check of the prices and claiming that lower price. Now, some people ask me when the best time to book a cruise is, and the answer is as soon as you know you want to go. Don't wait on the right price because most cruise lines today will let you claim price drops. So book when you're ready and start watching those prices for those price drops. And here's a pro tip for you. Check prices at least once a week until your final payment date. Even a $100 per person drop is worth making a quick call or sending an email. You can also set up price alerts using websites and apps designed for this. And these will actually work so that you'll get an email when your cruise fare changes, because why pay more for the same cabin when all it takes is a little follow-up? So be watching those prices. Now, the second way you may be paying too much money for your cruise is paying full price for beverage packages. Now, beverage packages may sound like an ultimate convenience. You pay once, you drink what you want. But for many cruisers, they're simply not worth the full price. Think about it. Most packages require that you drink a certain number of alcoholic beverages per day just to break even. And that doesn't even include the days when you happen to be off the ship in a port exploring all day and not drinking that much or utilizing the package that much. And if you're drinking soft drinks or specialty coffees, those add up much slower than cocktails or wine. So you've really got to be committed to the bit to get the full value of a drink package. And now most cruise lines are requiring that every cruiser in a cabin book the drink package if just one person in the room buys it. And this is actually a big controversy recently. With Royal Caribbean, they made this a part of their policy now. And that's just a big waste if you have non-drinkers that are cruising with you. Now, cruise lines often run sales on drink packages before you're sailing, sometimes offering 20, 30, and even 40% off. But buying a drink package on board the ship is one of the easiest ways you can overspend because you're guaranteed to pay full price, and they're going to be out there at the pool deck trying to get you to sign up for the drink package on embarkation day. So the pro tip here is to add up how many drinks that you might realistically have in a day and multiply that by the average drink cost on board. You can usually find menus for all the cruise ships if you do a Google search, and compare that to the package price. If you're under that number, then just skip the drink package or maybe even look for a sale before your trip. And always, always, always book before stepping foot on board the ship to get the lowest price possible. Number 3 is overpaying for Wi-Fi. Now, cruise Wi-Fi can be a shock to first-time travelers because the daily rate is about $20 to $30 per device, and rising prices are common. And yes, they do charge by device. The first rule of cruise internet savings, well, like the drink package, never ever ever wait to buy it on board because most lines will actually give a 20 to 30% discount if you purchase the package in advance. The second rule is to ask yourself if you really are going to need the internet every single day of your cruise. Now, many people will buy a package for the entire cruise and then maybe only check their email once or twice through the whole selling. Now, if you're not a heavy internet user on a cruise, you could save by purchasing a single day pass or maybe sharing a plan with a travel companion, which is what I'd recommend because you can actually log out on your device and let them log in on their device with the same package. Or simply just using free Wi-Fi or even an eSIM while you're in your ports of call. So my pro tip here is if you want to stay connected to your friends and family back home when you travel, when you cruise, consider a social media plan rather than a full web plan. It's often much cheaper and still lets you keep in touch. Use the built-in messenger functions on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp to reach out to those friends and family back home. Now, number 4 is booking short excursions only through the cruise line. If you're doing this, you're leaving a lot of money on the table that you could be saving. Cruise line excursions are convenient. No one's going to argue that. They're easy to book, and the ship is guaranteed to wait on you if there's a delay with your tour. But convenience often comes with a hefty markup, and in many ports, you can actually find reputable local tour companies that are going to offer the exact same experience for just half the price of what the cruise line is selling. Some even offer smaller group sizes, which means in addition to saving money, less waiting around and more actual time enjoying the activity that you're signing up for. However, that doesn't mean you should book with just anyone. Always make sure to check reviews, confirm what's included, and make sure that they offer a guarantee that they are going to get you back to the ship on time. And make sure that they know what time they're supposed to get you back on board the ship before you step foot on an excursion with them. You don't want to be left behind in a foreign port, that's for sure. Now, here's a big pro tip for you when it comes to short excursions. Sites like Viator, Short Excursions Group, and even Google Reviews can help you to find a local trusted tour operator. Just compare prices and options online before automatically clicking book on the cruise planner. As easy as that is to do, you can save a lot of money. And my go-to is actually Short Excursions Group. Now, I've been on excursions with them all over the world, and I'm going to include a link down to their site in the description below. Now, use that to find great tours at great prices, again, all over the world. And I guarantee that they are going to be just fantastic for all your short excursion needs. And now a quick question for you. Have you ever booked an excursion outside of the cruise line? Was it a better experience or do you regret it? And how much money did you save? Let us know down in the comments because I want to show something here. I want to hear real cruiser stories about this. And I want you all to go read what people are putting in the comments because I promise you can save money by booking third party and not booking through the cruise line for your short excursions. My next tip is waiting until you're on board to book add-ons. Now, specialty dining, spa treatments, photo packages, behind the scenes tours, these are almost always going to cost you more money if you wait until you're on the ship to book them. And same with excursions if you just have to book with the cruise line. Now, cruise lines run pre-cruise sales 60 to 90 days before sailing. That's when you'll likely see discounts, package bundles, and better time slot availability for what you're trying to book. And make sure that you check your cruise manager often, even after you've booked an add-on, because did you know that if you happen to find a lower price for something that you've booked, let's say a specialty meal, you can actually cancel that and rebook it at a lower price with no penalty. And you certainly want to be on the lookout for serious price drops on add-ons around major holidays, particularly Black Friday. That's the best time of year to book these things because that's when the cruise lines are going to have their biggest sales on these add-ons. So the pro tip here is once you book your cruise, you want to keep an eye on the online planner. When these pre-cruise sales pop up, grab those deals you want before they're gone. Waiting until you're on board the ship just means that you're going to pay full price and risk that your preferred option is already sold out. My sixth tip is booking the wrong cabin category. Now, cruise cabins come in all shapes and sizes. You can do inside, ocean view, balcony, suites, and the price difference between categories can be staggering at times. And the mistake that often gets made is paying for a cabin that doesn't match how you actually cruise. If you're rarely in your room except to sleep and shower, well, a balcony may not be the premium that you're going to pay, but on the other hand, if you know you'll spend mornings with coffee on your private veranda, well, it may just be worth upgrading to that balcony. And don't get caught up in paying tons more money for a premium location. Cruise lines are doing this more and more now with their pricing, where an inside or even balcony cabin might cost hundreds more dollars just because it's on a higher deck. Is that really worth it? Be sure to know exactly why you were paying what you're paying for that cabin. It might just not be worth it. And a big pro tip to consider here is to think about your itinerary and your habits. On a port-heavy cruise, you'll be off the ship most of the time, so a lower category might be fine, especially if you can save thousands of dollars off the price of that cruise. But on a transatlantic or sea-day heavy cruise, having more space or a balcony could definitely be worth that extra cost. The seventh way you may be spending too much to cruise is falling for exclusive onboard shopping deals. So let's just be real honest about those duty-free sales, the logo merch, the one-day-only jewelry events. Cruise lines are experts at creating a sense of urgency. The truth? Most of these deals aren't exclusive at all, and they aren't even worth it. The same bottle of perfume or watch might be the same price or even cheaper online at home. The cruise lines are banking on you not doing your research, maybe not having the internet package to even do research, and thus overpaying by potentially hundreds of dollars. Now, that's not to say you shouldn't shop on board, but make sure that you know the value of what you're buying. For souvenirs, you can often find more unique and authentic items in port markets instead of mass-produced goods. And it seems like all of the souvenirs and merchandise that you find on cruise ships, it's just so cheaply made. So just be aware of that. And the pro tip here, if you see something that you like on board, snap a quick photo and check prices online before you commit to buying, because let's be real, everything, I'm going to say that again, everything is marked up on board a cruise ship. Don't let the vacation haze that you're in sucker you into paying more than you should for things that you might not even need. The eighth way you might be spending too much money on your cruise is not using a travel agent or missing out on perks. Now, many cruisers book their cruises directly through their cruise line without realizing they might be missing out on free perks. Now, a good travel agent may be able to offer onboard credit, specialty dining vouchers, reduced deposits, or even free upgrades, perks you wouldn't get if you booked your cruise on your own. Now, these travel agents can also monitor those price drops for you that we talked about a bit ago, and can even handle the rebooking process for you to make sure that you claim every single one of those price drops. Meaning you'll basically be saving money automatically. And the best part, travel agents are paid by the cruise line, not by you. That's right, a travel agent works off of commissions, meaning they take their earnings from the cruise lines, and you usually, now, I'll say usually because maybe some travel agents might charge you a fee or something, but usually you won't pay to use the services of a travel agent. So the pro tip here is, even if you enjoy doing the research yourself, get a quote from a travel agent before you commit and book, because you just might be surprised at the added value and convenience that offers. Number 9 is paying full price for photos on board. And honestly, this is something that I just never do, but I realize it's a must for a lot of people. The professional photos, the embarkation shots, the formal night portraits, the fun port poses that they do, these can all be tempting, but at $20 to $40 per print, buying them individually adds up so fast here. But did you know that most cruise lines actually offer discounted photo packages, especially if you buy it before you're sailing or very early on in the cruise? Some cruise lines also offer digital packages that actually let you download all the images that they take for one flat price, which can save you hundreds of dollars compared to buying prints individually. So a pro tip is decide early in the cruise whether or not you want photos and commit to a package if you do. Waiting until the last day of the cruise just means you're going to pay full price, and you're even potentially going to feel rushed into making a decision. And the 10th way you may be paying too much money for your cruise is not factoring in gratuities and service charges. One of the biggest surprises for first-time cruisers is the bill that you're going to get at the end of the trip. Daily gratuities, often $16 to $20 per person per day, can add up very quickly. On top of that, most drink and dining purchases, drink packages, specialty dining, will include an automatic service charge, even if you choose to tip extra. And the cruise lines are just continually adding more and more gratuity and service charges to just about everything on board these days. It's basically a way that they're passing the costs to pay the people who work for the cruise lines onto the consumer. So to avoid the shock, make sure that you're prepaying your gratuities before the sailing. This not only helps you budget, but can also lock in the current rate before any increases, which cruise lines love to do. There's often $1 or $2 here and there increase on the gratuities. But if you prepay those when you book your cruise and the price of the gratuities go up before your cruise, they're actually going to grandfather you in and not charge you those extra costs. So my final pro tip here is when planning your cruise budget, you want to make sure that you include gratuities, special dining, drinks, excursions, and any packages you know you'll want so that there won't be any surprises later. And definitely, again, to reiterate, book all of those things before you step foot on board the ship and watch for price drops. Claim those price drops on both your add-ons and also on your cruise fare. You could save thousands of dollars like I've done recently for a cruise that's coming up. And I do this on every cruise that I take, and it's saved me a lot of money over the years. So these are the 10 ways you might be paying too much for your cruise. The key takeaway here is a little planning before and even during your cruise can save you hundreds and sometimes even thousands of dollars, which may be enough to pay for your next sailing. You could go on a whole other cruise with the money that you're going to save on your current cruise. And now I want to hear from you. Which of these mistakes have you fallen into before? And what's your number one money-saving cruise tip? Something I might have missed. Drop it in the comments down below so we can all learn from each other, because we do love to save money on travel. For me, it's like a personal accomplishment every time I find a way to save some money or get some money back on a cruise. And if you found this video helpful, make sure you hit that like button down there. Subscribe for more cruise tips to come very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next adventure.